Okay, did you want to do like a group scrum here? Want to get closer with the camera? I like it when these guys give each other a hand. Okay,
tell us a little bit about the journey that this course has been on.
Absolutely. SOS4000, it's been an incredible journey so far since we started in St. John's on October the 1st, 2007. The first student to have carried the torch in St. John's was Samantha Alton Tate, from Bishop's College. And we started off at Confederate Building there, and the premier was there and everything. And since that day, students have passionately carried this torch through the Maritimes, through Quebec, Ontario, the prairies. This is our last stop in Alberta before we enter BC. And we're heading towards Victoria and then climbing up north to get to Whitehorse and then Yellowknife. Our final stop is in Iqaluit, Nunavut, and that's on June 13th of 2008.
What's the purpose of this journey?
What we're trying to do is literally a couple of things. We're trying to wake up Canadians about the fact that Canada has one of the lowest organ donation rates in the world, and that every day somebody is passing away on the waiting list. And there's over 4,000 Canadians that are presently waiting for these precious gifts. And you know, their mothers, their fathers, their daughters, their sons, anybody any day can get a diagnosis that something is wrong with one of their organs, and the only thing that's going to save their life is a transplant. Now, it's a fact that transplants are a cure. Basically, when you receive an organ, you're going to lead a healthy and very vital life, and so we have a cure in our hands. Here's the sad thing. Too many organs are going in the garbage, and I literally mean that, because what they do is when you die, they take the organs out, and if you're not consenting to it, it goes in the garbage. So in our country, we've had too many organs that are going to waste, and we really need to wake up our country and also our government leaders, both provincial and federal. I've been making stops at each ledge building for the purpose of trying to make them realize that this issue needs more attention, needs more priority, and that if they had the will, along with the public, we can save all 4,000 people that are on that waiting list. Nobody needs to die waiting for an organ transplant.
I know you've done several runs. When did this torch run start?
We actually started the torch run during my Canada walk back in 2000, June 20th. And during that time, we had the Davis family with us, Brother Greg and Father Mel, and we lit the torch in memory of Victor Davis. I don't know if you guys remember, but he was one of the greatest Olympian swimmers that this country ever seen. And sadly, during the height of his career, he died in a car accident and donated his organs. There's 6 people still alive today because of that. And this was back in the late 80s. So we lit the torch in memory of Victor and also his spirit. His spirit was go all the way or stay home. And that's sort of the theme that we're using here. We're saying that, you know, we can save everybody that's on that waiting list, and we just have to want it bad enough, you know. And I know if we could put this spark with the students who are adding the spark as we're going along. Lotte is carrying the torch today for Lethbridge. We're hoping everybody in Lethbridge understands this message, and everybody in Lethbridge becomes an organ donor.
So George, how does it feel that you've inspired so many people across Canada?
Well, it feels good, but I think, you know, it's still, we're moving at a snail's pace, and I say that because people are still frustrated not knowing how to become an organ donor. People are still frustrated because, you know, when somebody does tragically die in their family, and either they don't get approached, or when they're approached, there's too much grief and depression at that moment that, you know, they're not able to say yes. And so therefore there's still, I mean, awareness is a big factor in this. We need to inform, educate Canadians from coast to coast so that when that moment does come, they're prepared to say yes. And we can do that. We can do that. We can make it so that, you know, everybody can be prepared when that happens. And you know, organ and tissue transplants are a cure, so we have to think of it as an investment as well. If we can educate our country, Canadians, in becoming organ donors, and everybody does become an organ donor, then anybody that would ever need an organ transplant in the future would know that they're going on the waiting list and an organ will be available. And that's a great investment.
Why the passion for this issue specifically?
Well, 12 years ago, I was told that I had a liver disease and that I only had a few months to live, and you know, that turned out into a couple of days left to live. And as hours were ticking away, I had my funeral arrangements all made out, because there was 2 hallways while I was in that hospital, one that led to the morgue and one that led to the operating table. And all the people that were on that floor that were waiting for organ transplants usually ended up in that hallway going to the morgue. I was fortunate enough to get to that hallway going to the operating table, and that day my life was saved and 5 others. And I knew it when I woke up from that hospital that I was going to devote my life, the rest of my life, in trying to change this, because I witnessed too many people that were dying, and that I knew we can change this, and we had a cure, because I got back in the gym in 2 months after I received my organ, started training, and just to prove that recipients aren't hooked up to all kinds of machines and you know, dependent on all kinds of other stuff. That's why I did that walk across Canada. I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to tell my story to Canadians, and you know, since then we've had a lot of happy stories, but we've had a lot of sad stories as well. There's more sad stories than happy stories. We want to change that around to make it more happy stories than sad stories.
How does someone prepare to be an organ donor?
Well, in the province of Alberta, there's a health card where you can indicate your wish, but the most important step in this process is to take the time to share this wish with your loved ones, because they're the ones that need to be prepared. If that final moment ever does come, the more prepared that they are, you know, the more you know, the more reason for the transplant take place. So the important step is to share the wish with your family, so that they'll know well in advance, and they can make that decision when they're approached.
All right, perfect. Thanks a lot, George.
So, was there any more one-on-ones, or?
I would like to talk to
Okay, good. Yeah.
He's
Stage 2. Okay.
We can bring it down one step.
Maybe first of all, tell us how you were chosen to carry the torch.
I actually just got asked by Kelly King
And tell me you're doing right now.
just excited to run for this cause.
Is there anything that motivated you other than just being asked?
I think it's for a good cause. I think people should donate if they can, and it can save a lot of lives.
Okay, what athletic challenges are you facing today?
I don't know.
Oh, it's got to be something. Make it sound epic.
Probably the distance if I have to run it.
How old are you? What grade are you?
Pardon?
How old are you? What grade are you?
I'm 18 in grade 12.
You can listen to
Yes.
And your name?
Lotte Laarman.